What's up, family? Welcome back to the Stop Sinking Show, where we go from struggle to flow. When I think about this topic, before I start, I want to make sure I come on here and the way I talk about it, I want to make sure it's clear that the message that I'm sending across isn't one of, oh, it's too bad that this is how the world is and woe is me and let's see how we can deal with this unfortunate situation. No. Instead, it's from the spirit of this is how the world is and rightfully so. And you wouldn't want it any different, my friend. And we'll get into why. So let's be prepared for how the world is and not expect any excuse from it. Not to be excused from it. You are bound by this and you should be. We all should be. So if you haven't guessed from the title what this episode is about already, what I'm here to acknowledge, remind, and cherish at the same time while being crushed by the weight of this idea that you are only as good as your last at bat. No matter what you have accomplished in life, you cannot live in the glory of yesteryear or even yesterday. No matter the heights you have reached, the hearts you have touched, it's all, what have you done for me lately? That rules everything. Okay, so isn't that a little harsh? Doesn't what I do and build up over time count for anything? Well, yeah, of course. No one is saying that you start from scratch every day. Although it might help you to think like every day is your first day, but different topic. But if you wake up tomorrow and stop putting an effort to maintain and also grow what it is that you are, then decay will set in faster than you think. If you don't remain active and top of mind, you are soon forgotten faster than you can blink. So while what you have built up has some sustaining value, it isn't as durable as you think, especially in the aspect of satisfying the social aspects of our being. Our relationships deteriorate much faster than other things as soon as we stop inputting effort into them, almost instantly. And that's not to say it in some negative, controversial way, but it's in the literal aspect of how time continues to pass without you, and anything standing still or away naturally creates distance from what is moving. Without inputting effort to keep up course with what things are going on and people around you, you drift away from them. Natural decay is invited. This is why inheritances are erased and once millionaires go broke. When you stop doing the things that put you in the place or your family in the place to have gotten to what you have acquired, what you have acquired soon starts to slip away. We never possess anything. Everything is borrowed. It's all sifting sand, and only thing that keeps it in our hands and our hands full is going out to grab more. It's the only way we can experience having a full hand. It's continuing to grab more. No sufficient amount remains when left to the natural forces working against you, like your unsealed fingers, gravity, wind, and the very physical nature of what constitutes sand. Like most things in life, we gain a hold of. Again, everything that you have built to have acquired where you have gotten to demands from you the answer to that question every day to keep it. What have you done for me lately? And your answer in the form of your followed up and followed through consistent effort is what it will judge you on to decide whether it stays or not, or how much of it will be left behind in the palm of your hand. Again, like I said before, you wouldn't want it any other way. As much as you think you would. As comfortable as that sounds. So that's why, as harsh as this sounds, and as much as we'd like to get to a place of rest, after all the acquiring we are after and maybe accomplish. As harsh as it is, the reality is that you do not want to live in a world in which what you have gained stops demanding the same level of excellence from you to keep it. Or else it wouldn't give anyone else a chance to compete. That anyone was you at one point. The reality is that no matter how seasoned you are at anything, business, life, gains in any way, there is a headwind coming your way. There is market forces, winds shifting, and new upcoming demands, all of which will require you to keep up, at the same time giving a new entrant, a new competitor, the ability and the chance to innovate and be better than you and what already existed. Meaning the fact that everything is always demanding the best of us, is always requiring us to show up, without which we cannot just retain some crystallized version of success that is automatically preserved through time like it's sitting in a refrigerator, means that because of this, there is a rotating top 1%, rotating criteria for success, rotating group of those who will experience it, which is the argument for capitalism that most people miss, especially the people that demonize and hate the people at the top, the 1%. The best part about capitalism is that the top 1% rotates. It isn't fixed and set to remain. Every dog has its day and everything flips around. What goes up must come down. What goes around comes back around. That's just how you see it play out. Especially for those who stop having the right answer for what you have done for me lately. They get rotated out. Those whose batting average dropped, but somehow still they expect the same fame and heights, are then humbled by the reality that success erodes without upkeep. What got me thinking about this is quite a sad realization. Reflecting on my ill father and how at a certain point we all lose to the demands that this question puts on us, because we just stop physically, mentally being able to give what we have before. We naturally cannot as much as we'd like to or used to. Experiencing my aging father in a delirious state where at times his memory is faulty or his current state is hallucinating has been a stark reminder of this fact to me. Even me trying to limit my bias and frustration, it's hard to get over the reality of how much this applies to him and us as we age. My father has been the sharpest human being my entire life. I've had a 15-year corporate career and have been around several smart people and have yet to meet anyone as sharp as my father. The man can tell you what he spent at McDonald's in 1996. So with that background of sharpness, and partly why the contrast now is so heartbreaking, and the experiencing of him in a delirious state where not everything he says can be counted on is a quite sad thing, because now with this man, again, with the background of sharpness, with this man who I've known to be the sharpest human ever, now I have to question what he is saying is true. And with his lifetime of achievements and credentials and successes, despite any of my bias, none of his past successes lets me consider those successes as a factor when assessing him in front of me and if what he is saying is coherent or not. And many times he slips in and out of this dream state. So at times he's completely fine and astute, And in those times, I'm more likely to expect the next conversation and approach the next conversation maybe with the hope that he will respond coherently. And other times, when I witness the disoriented state a few times, I expect myself to discount his next sentence, maybe unfairly, and deem it less credible. This man, with a lifetime of all he's been to the world, reduced down to how good was his last sentence. I haven't yet experienced anything more painful than witnessing this. And should I feel bad about this and remain in that depressive thought? No, because as painful as that reality is, it is this way for a good reason. Everything is a cycle, and to keep it upright and balanced, we have to keep riding and pushing. And eventually, what we face is too uphill, or our strength diminishes, and nature replaces us with a more fitting keeper of the role. And the world keeps spinning. And I'm sure I can draw on 1,000 other examples in our life and relationships and obviously health, where we have clearly experienced what happens when we stop putting in the effort. Everything is demanding from you the answer to, what have you done for me lately? Swing for the fences while you can. Love you, family. See you on the next show.